Hi and welcome to my video, and today I'm doing a video about this camera here. I'm doing a film video about this camera here, and this is my Letus Mini 35 right there, and they're about $450 new, and I got it for about $90 on eBay. And it's this right here, what you see here, and this is a little adapter, and with this little adapter right here, mine came with an adapter for Olympus OM lenses. And this is an Olympus OM35 lens, vintage lens with a maximum aperture of 2. And there's my vintage lens. And the whole purpose of this Letus, it's got a little vibrator here. You press this button and it vibrates, and that's so if there's any particles inside the lens, it doesn't affect the sharpness of the end image, but it just makes everything it just vibrates so that the image is perfectly clear. It's so anyways, I think there's a prism in this inside here. There's a prism, and it takes this image and it reorients it, makes it the proper orientation so that the sensor picks it up and it looks great. So yeah, so the image goes through here into here, and then it goes through the prism system, and then it's vibrated with this little red button. There's a vibrating motor that spins a little thing in here, and it vibrates, and you have to turn this on. Don't forget to turn this on. I even made a to-do list. See, I made a little to-do list. Zoom focus, Letus motor, and then white balance. This is kind of my, and I guess I can add stuff to it. So that's my little list of things, because it gets quite complex when you're using these. This whole setup, it gets a little bit complex. This is a vintage camera. It's a 3CCD camera. You're not going to see very many 3CCD cameras in 2020. They're really nice cameras. That's all I'm going to say. I particularly like the way color looks on this camera. This camera, it doesn't even shoot in 2K. It's got under I think it's 1,000,000 pixels. It's 720 upscaled, 720p upscaled. So it's it says you can upscale it by 1920 by 1080, but I believe the image sensor size is 720. So it's a very small sensor relative to today, where everything is 4K. But it's got 3 sensors, 3 CCD sensors, and the color rendering in 3CCD, and there's a couple of other benefits of 3CCD. It's a very solid image. That's why when they're shooting like sports and everything, they used to always use 3CCD digital cameras when shooting sports, because it doesn't distort the image. There's the front view. There's the other side view. Okay, in order to make this whole thing work, the Letus doesn't fit. You can buy, this is the smallest Letus, it's a 35 mini, and this ring is, I think this ring is, well anyways, you need a 46, I believe this is 46. If you buy the Letus Mini, I think this one comes in different sizes. The one that I got was 46. So you need a step down ring so that the Letus can screw into your JVC gy-hm100 or whatever camera you have. If you've got a 46mm, it'll screw right in, but I needed 46 to 43, so there's a little ring inside there, you can't see it, and it's an adapter ring, and it cost me $1.99 US, including shipping. So there's a little aluminum ring adapter inside there that you can't see, and that's holding this to this camera. This can come off as well. This can come off. You can see the screws there, the screws there. You can take the whole thing apart. This can come off. And then the lenses, I'll show you the lenses. This is an OM lens, so you press the buttons in and it comes off. There you can see inside the Letus. And I'll turn the camera on. So that's what you see. You just see a white screen. And you can zoom it out. There. So there, when you put the Letus on without a lens, that's what you're going to see. And when you put your Letus on, this might not be parallel to your little LCD screen. So what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to adjust this so that this screen is parallel to your LCD screen. And then you can move it out like that. And you can use your focus ring on the camera to focus it. It's nice and sharp, and then you can bring it out, and what you want to do is bring it out like that, there, and then see there's little bit of flex there. That goes away when you hit the vibration on. Turn the vibration on. There's the vibration, that little red button. And then you put the lens back on. There you can see there's a little vibrating motor in there. It's hard to do this with one hand. Oh, maybe it's the other way. There we go. So there's the lens on. And then you can focus on something. Got a really narrow depth of field. Oh, there, sometimes you have to fiddle with both focus rings. There we go. Okay, sorry, I don't know if anybody can see that. So, yeah. Sometimes you have to mess with both focus rings. You're not going to be able to really see that. But there's the screen. Try to get the right angle. But anyways, it's nice and sharp. It's got a really nice depth of field. Impossible to tell from here. But anyways, the whole reason why I bought this whole Letus setup is because obviously it takes beautiful pictures, and what you see on the screen doesn't do it justice, but it's absolutely gorgeous color rendition and gorgeous depth of field when you're using these old vintage lenses on this camera with 3 CCD, and that's the whole reason I bought it. And it just looks fantastic. I wish this camera I wish I had the correct settings on this camera, so I set it up so that it would show you that. But anyways, so I've gone through, you have to keep the motor on, you have to have an adapter for this camera, and as you can see, I have a lens support, because look at all of this weight is on this connection right here to the camera. So it's really not a good idea to use this whole setup without a set of these kind of rack rails system. This is called a rack rail system, and they can get quite pricey. And I paid, I think, around 80 bucks for this, and then I got the carbon rails. It had aluminum rails, and I got some carbon rails. I just liked the way the carbon rails looked. And so anyways, if you can see with all these screws here, this is called a Sheet 35 system. It's from England, and it comes with a whole bunch of assorted spacers, so that you can raise the camera up, lower it down, etc, 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 etc. So it's got 1, 2, 3 of these things that you can put on the rack rails. This one holds up the lens, and I put actually a piece of rubber on here, so you lift it up so it's supporting the lens under here. So this raises up, and then there's a piece of rubber under here touching the lens, and then you screw this down. And I also have this piece of Velcro just to hold everything solid, and everything slides along the rack rails, and then these tighten these up. And I have it on this ball tripod head, which is a lot of people would say that's a no-no, but I find if you crank these dials down, it's really nice. If it stops working, I'll go and buy a more beefy tripod head, but that's fine for me for now. This is a quick release plate that screws on the camera right here. Came with the Sheet 35 system. There's another quick release plate under here that goes onto the tripod head, and then it's got some level bubble here, a level bubble here for leveling the whole thing. So yeah, this whole rack rail system is to hold up the lens. So it connects to the camera and to the lens, and you have to set this up so that these two things are at the right height, or at the correct height to make everything usable. Wow. So yeah. So basically I would lower this, you screw this down, lower this down, attach the camera, add spacers if you need to get everything correctly set up, and then when you've got a little bit of a distance here, then you can unscrew this, move up the support to hold the lens, screw that back down, and you're in business. And so anyways, yeah, you need the lens adapter. Rack rails is helpful. And yeah, this is the Letus 35. And this whole idea is that you can add these lenses. I have this lens, and I have this one here, which is a 50mm f1.4, and I paid like 35 bucks. I got sort of the banged up one. I didn't get like a pristine one. I got both of these lenses are kind of banged up, and that's why they're not perfect, so I got them at a really good price. So you just have to go shopping on eBay for deals. And for anybody who doesn't know, 35mm means it's a more wide angle lens, so you're going to get a more wide picture out of it. So I'll turn this off now. So that's my setup, and I'm sure I missed something. But anyways, yeah, the JVC has a whole bunch of settings on the camera. For gain, you can add gain. You can customize the gain to add like 3 decibels. I wouldn't add more than 3 decibels of gain. Here's a whole bunch of white balance settings. You can do manual white balance on a white sheet, card sheet, wherever you go, take it with you. It's got ND filter for outside, and there's a ton of settings inside the camera. And I actually heard a suggestion that to turn the detail level right down or off, and that gives you a really nice film look with this camera. So I want to tell you that the images, even though this camera has like low resolution compared to newer cameras, the picture quality with 3CCD on these old film, Google these old film lenses, Google Olympus OM 35mm f2, and you'll see somebody did a video and you'll see the beautiful images you can get with this lens. And they look fantastic and they look incredible through 3CCD, which does look incredible by itself. So go have a look at some videos on 3CCD and look at some videos on old vintage lenses like this lens. The last thing I'm going to show you is my camera bag, where I can put everything everything here. So I'm going to try to take this off now. So there you go, I just took my camera off the tripod. And this is my Kata bag. And I'm going to show you my Kata bag online. So here's there it is, the Kata Bumblebee 2222. They don't make it anymore. And this is the current version, which is the Manfrotto Bumblebee. That's the same bag as I got. Now I'll show you the bag. And I got it used. I was lucky enough to get it used. So here's the Kata version of the bag, and I got it. It's almost like new condition, and I got it on Craigslist. And when you get it, it has all these removable Velcro pieces. It's got another bag here, and it's got all this Velcro, so you can make partitions and stuff in here to put other. You can add other partitions in there. So I took that all out. The reason that I bought this camera bag is so that I can put my whole camera in there. So that's why I did that. I got this camera bag because it says it's 20 inches long. And the whole camera is about 17. The reason I have these carbon rails sticking out past the lens is because I don't want the lens banging. I don't want the lens taking damage. So I want the carbon rails to protect the lens. So the carbon rails will press against the bag, and then the lens won't be touching anything. So that's why I have those carbon rails sticking out past there like that. So there's the whole camera fits in the bag there, and sorry I had to put the camera down, but I can fit the whole tripod. It goes in even a little bit more, but the whole tripod can go in here, and this is kind of a laptop holder, but I can put my whole tripod in here. It's just a little mini tripod, camera. I can put batteries in there. I have like my tools. There's little tools in there. Extra lens, batteries. Close the whole thing off and zip it all up, and away I go. It's really nice. This is a really nice bag. It's called the Bumblebee, and it's made by Manfrotto now. It used to be made by Kata. You can see it. There's the straps. I actually took the waist strap off. You can take the waist strap off as well. And it's got a rain cover as well. So yeah, I wanted to add a little bit to the video showing that my Kata Bumblebee bag, which I got for $50 on Craigslist. So somebody bought it. I think it's over $200 new, and they hardly used it at all. And then they sold it for $50. So I got a really good deal on that. So anyways, there it is, my tripod camera. Didn't have to disassemble it at all. And yeah, so I hope you like that video. And subscribe and you'll be able to see videos that I shot on this setup. I'm shooting this with the older JVC gy-hm100. It's called an HD7 actually, and it's the older JVC, but it's a really good camera too. And I just have a cheap wide angle lens on it. So thanks for watching, and subscribe to see more videos shot with the fantastic vintage JVC gy-hm100 with the Letus Mini 35 and the Olympus OM35 vintage lens in 3CCD. Fantastic JVC 3CCD video and sound. Thanks for watching.